happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and it is that time. Once again, it is Saturday, and time to find out what I'm finding, because this is What's on the Pegs. And of course, as always, let me know what you are finding out there on your toy hunts. I'm always checking all kinds of various stores, from Walmart to Target to any independent toy shop I can come across. So let me know what you're finding as well. Of course, this is episode 17. 17 episodes of What's on the Pegs. Really, really cool. Appreciate you guys checking this out. And as always, check out my unboxing videos. I do 3 unboxing videos every single week as well. So check all of those out. And we started off with a couple of fun ones here. They don't really go together, but, you know, they're both old school style, 80s properties, so why not? It is the Sketchbook Cyclone and the Cobra Commander from the G.I. Joe Classified line. Kind of the classic look of the Cobra Commander. Of course, we know they can't do the hood that he used to wear back in the day, but Kyle Peterson brought up a really interesting point about the Cyclone, that the regular Cyclone was a Mattel Creations exclusive, but the Sketchbook version was in Target. It's like, well, you'd think that would be the other way around, but I don't do the Sketchbook collections. You know, it's a fun idea, but I'm like, that's far from something I need. That Cobra Commander is excellent, but I have a Cobra Commander, and I feel like the one I have is good enough, so I'm like, I don't know if I need another $25 on there. But again, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I love the Motu line. As you'll see in upcoming unboxing videos, I'm kind of diving deep into the Masterverse line again. I had actually gotten a bunch of those, sold them, and now I'm seeing like the sculpts and the boxes are a lot better, so it kind of gets me itchy to get them again. So what are you gonna do? That's the story of a life of a figure collector. Speaking of Masterverse, some cool stuff here. We got the new Masters of the Universe Thundercats Lion-O. This is really cool. I haven't picked this up yet. I do want to get it. I love that these are kind of a 2-in-1 where you can get a Motu-style Lion-O, but then also just a classic Thundercats version of Lion-O. Very, very fun. We've got, of course, the Jean Grey X-Factor version there. I believe that is also a Target exclusive. Lion-O is not, though. And then, of course, we got the Flying Fists He-Man from the New Eternia Masterverse. These are great. I think these look really cool. I love the artwork. I love all the New Eternia figures. So I think what I'm going to do is just exclusively collect New Eternia, with a few exceptions here and there. But very, very cool. Definitely what I want to pick up at some point. This is a cool one. X-Men 97 Wolverine. These were very hard to find. Probably, a year ago? Maybe a year and a half ago. And this is like the classic Wolverine. And immediately was like, okay, I got to get that, because I hadn't had a Marvel Legends X-Men figure in a while, and this pulled me right back into Marvel Legends, because it was just to me, that's the classic Wolverine. That's always going to be my favorite version of Wolverine. The Toy Biz Wolverine that looks similar to this was great, and then I love that it's got basically, you can pull the mask down and kind of clip it around his neck and put the head back on, so it looks like his mask is down like he wore in the cartoon. And I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. And then of course the masthead as well. Really, really good figure. Hasbro knocked it out of the park with this one. That is for sure. Cool to see this. The Hall of Champions box set from Target. $85 takes this home, so it's not exactly a cheap one, but you get Bruno Sammartino, the Ultimate Warrior, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. Kind of 4 generations there. We got, Sammartino representing probably the 60s and maybe the 70s. Ultimate Warrior representing, of course, the late 80s, early 90s. Cena, like probably the mid-2000s, and Roman Reigns, the 2010s, 2020s. But really cool set. I mean, if you don't have these figures, I would say it's worth picking up, but not one for me. I do like that Warrior a lot, because I think there's that classic promo picture of the Ultimate Warrior that we all remember, and that's that look, and that's what makes me be like, ooh, that is a really cool one. So definitely a good set. $85 seems like a bit much for this, but it is really, really cool, so I can't knock it. New Legends there at Target. Of course, we got Smoking Guns, Billy Gunn, The Great Muta, The Undertaker, and Terry Funk. That's cool to get this version of Terry Funk again. We've had that in the Legends line, Wave 2, I think. We had the poncho and the chaps and stuff. This one in the blue, of course, we got Big Evil Undertaker, kind of going back to the biker version. We got Retirement Great Muta, which is awesome. And then Smoking Guns, Billy Gunn is great, because I know a lot of people, myself included, are getting Bart Gunn heads to complete that and do both versions of the Smoking Guns, because as of right now, we don't have a Bart Gunn, so definitely cool stuff. I love the Legends line at Target. I love the fact that these are not hard to find. That is easily my favorite thing about them, and I wish Walmart would do that as well. That obviously is not the case, but it's like, man, I wish they just made these where we could always get them, you know what I mean? But what are you going to do? This one is an interesting one. I think this one's about $35, but it's the Search and Rescue Firefighter from the G.I. Joe line. It's not technically like one of the G.I. Joe characters, it's just a firefighter. But man, this thing is amazing. I've heard several people talk about how cool they think this is. A lot of accessories, so it's definitely not a cheap one, but man, this is really pulls. I really want to get that. And I've kind of paused the G.I. Joe Classifieds. I don't want to say paused them full on, but I like them. It's just there's so many things out there that I want to collect right now. It's hard to get all of them, and that certainly falls into that category. But what do you guys think? Are you still into the G.I. Joe Classified? There's a lot of good figures happening. It's just, like I said, you just simply cannot collect it all. It makes it really, really hard. But I do like this a lot. From the another Marvel Legends, a lot of Marvel in this one. We got the Fantastic Four. From the Fantastic Four First Steps film, we get the Human Torch and the Silver Surfer. Of course, a female Silver Surfer. I believe this one takes place on a different Earth, if that's correct. I haven't seen the movie yet. I do want to see it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Always been a big, Marvel fan, and so obviously Marvel getting Fantastic Four back in their slate of films is awesome. Of course, classic Human Torch. But I also don't really collect the movie figures, so these will be a pass for me. But they do look cool, so if you don't have Fantastic Four, this might be a nice way to get them in the collection. DevCon, another Transformers from the Legacy Evolution line. I just recently unboxed Crosscut. I really like these a lot. I love, the cardboard packaging's awesome. He is an Autobot, of course. I love that you see kind of his vehicle form there, and then on the side there you can barely see it, but you see a picture of him as in robot form. Very, very cool. We also got an Optimus Prime, Orion Pax, whatever that is, from Transformers 1, which I believe is that new cartoon. And then the Mix and Mashers. These are interesting. This is, of course, Bumblebee, but it looks like these are more just figures. I don't think they transform, but it's more of a kids-based line where you can swap the parts, the legs, the arms, the heads, etc., and you can mix and match with other figures. They also have Marvel and Star Wars. I'm curious, though, because I don't know this. I wonder if you could swap, like, a Star Wars arm or put a Spider-Man head on them. I don't know if that would work or not, but it is kind of a fun idea to think about for sure. Batman the Animated Series. I'm not as into these as I once was, but these are really cool. I still have 2 more to unbox in Wave 3 that I haven't got to. This is actually Wave 5, though. This is Ra's al Ghul and Killer Croc. And I believe also there's a classic Batman in this wave and someone else. I'm trying to think of who that 4th character is. It escapes me at the moment. Maybe Poison Ivy? She might be in Wave 4, I'm not sure. But if you get all 4, you can build Jonah Hex, which I don't remember Jonah Hex from Batman the Animated Series. I know the character, of course, but pretty cool. Like I said, these are $30, a little on the expensive side for what you're getting, I feel like, but they are a lot of fun. And I've always been a big Batman the Animated Series fan. But again, it's like how deep in the weeds I want to get with these, knowing that McFarlane is losing the license in the next probably 12 months or so. I'm sure they'll get a lot of product out until then, but still, come on, you don't want to get too deep into it, right? Especially with the sublines. Some more McFarlane Collector's Edition at Target. We got the Dark Archer and we got Dark Stars. Neither one of these are setting my world on fire, and these being the $30 price point, it's hard for me to be like, oh, I got to get them. I'm like, I don't know. I know the Dark Archer is Malcolm Merlin because I remember him from Arrow, but neither one of these are like must-haves, and neither one of these hit me where I'm like, oh, I got to get it. So I think these are both a pass for me. If I find them on clearance, maybe. But other than that, I don't know. Well, let me know in the comments down below if you're picking these up or not. Also, some more Masters of the Universe here. We got the Princess of Power Masterverse. We got Leech. This figure looks awesome. Definitely one I want to pick up. I need to go grab that one. And then from the Thundercats Motu line, how about Chitara? These are also starting to show up at Walmart's in that new display they have. So if you're looking for this line, these are really cool. And then, of course, there's a third figure in this wave, Battle Cat Man, which is going to kind of an original He-Man character in Thundercats form, which is kind of fun, interesting enough. I know a lot of people are going crazy for that one. I honestly would like to just collect this as a Thundercats line, but everybody's going to do what they do. So we'll see what happens, of course. But definitely fun. So these, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this. This is Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Playmates line. These are the mix and match mutations. We got Armored Raph and we got Armored Leo. And it looks like you can swap your parts around to create your own mutant. And it looks like they've got an extra limb there, right? Like, looks like Raphael's got some type of leg that looks like a bird leg. And Leo's got some type of red arm. So I guess it's, in a way, a Build-A-Figure style thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure it does it for me, but Maybe you guys will like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's different for sure, but I don't know if it's one I dig. And then I had to get a picture of this just because it absolutely made me laugh. It is some Hot Wheels. I don't do a lot of Hot Wheels, but it is a Motu van. Looks like it's a Skeletor van. Like, who wouldn't want a Skeletor van? And then Back to the Future, it's Biff's car covered in the manure. Like, that is hilarious to me. These are $7.99 and looks like $6.89, so they're definitely not giving these away for considering what Hot Wheels typically cost. But that is kind of a fun idea. Like, if I was going to buy a Hot Wheel, these are one of the two I would get, or maybe the Dumb and Dumber van. But definitely fun stuff. But that's kind of what I've been finding here on the pegs. Nothing too crazy, but it is always cool to see different things. And then, of course, Daniel Cross, never one to not send me a picture, always sends me stuff, which definitely helps with this. How about this? We just recently lost Hulk Hogan this past July. Obviously, it shook the wrestling world, but how cool is this? We get some Storm Collectibles Hulk Hogan's at this store. We got the big 14-inch Hulk Hogan. And then down below, I don't know how well you can see them, but the Figures Toy Company Midnight Express sets. Love the Midnight Express. I so wish they would sign with another company. That absolutely makes me sick that they haven't. I think them in retro form, them as big rubber guys, or even them in Remco style would be absolutely incredible. So I'm hoping Cornette makes that happen at some point. It hasn't happened yet, but I hope it does because I would love to see them in the big rubber guys line. Could you imagine a wave? Just that wave. The three members of Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. I'd buy the entire set without blinking an eye. But these Storm Collectible Hogans, of course, Hogan kind of got exiled from the wrestling business there for a minute, as we all know. And Storm Collectibles ended up signing him and made a whole bunch of figures. And these were actually kind of the only way to get Hogan there for a while. So I'm sure they go for a pretty penny these days. I never owned any of them, but it was kind of cool that they stepped in and gave us a bunch of different Hogans when we really needed them at that time. Hollywood Hogan, of course, Hulk in the American-made shirt and the blue trunks and everything else. So definitely a interesting time. That is for sure. But that's what I've been finding on the pegs. But what about you? What have you guys been finding on the pegs? Have you been hitting up all your stores regularly? The Walmarts, the Targets? Do you like to hit up the independent toy shops? That's where I find a lot of interesting stuff. Because, again, Walmart and Target is always kind of going to be the same thing. I mean, it's going to change every so often with new stock and things of that nature. But usually the independent toy shops is where I find stuff that's unique, so that's what I always try to go with. But let me know what you're finding as well, and of course check out my other videos here on the channel. I do Tales of the Toy Box every month. This past episode, of course, episode 4 was all about Toy Biz X-Men, so check that out. A lot of fun there. This past week on unboxing videos, I unboxed Batman from the DC Super Friends line. Really, really fun. Excited to get that into the collection. That was on Monday. On Wednesday, I unboxed Crosscut from the Transformers Legacy Evolution line. Really fun to always dive into another Transformer. And then on Friday, I unboxed the Widowmaker figure from the Retro Spawn line. So check all those out right here on the channel. And, of course, give them a like if you can, and a subscribe always helps. And then, of course, check out the TB Toycast podcast every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. We have a different main event. And we also talk about all the news and happenings in the toy world that particular week. So thank you guys very much for checking out What's on the Pegs. This, of course, was episode 17. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.